I'm here to talk about a collection of rings that were donated by Father Patrick Dubois in 2008, and these were rings that were found when he was excavating a mass grave in the area of Busk in the Ukraine. According to Father Dubois, these rings were found in a cluster located not too far away from one of the mass graves. We really don't know much about how they were left there, whether this was a situation in which the people who were about to be killed took off their rings and threw them as a way of keeping them from the Nazis, who would have used them, shipped them back to Germany, melted them down, reappropriated them in some way as valuable, or whether they just weren't picked up when the murderers came through and really confiscated belongings. I think it's really hard for us to tell the story of the 1.5 million people for whom we don't really have a names list. They're not on deportation lists, they're not on lists of people in concentration camps, because for them the Holocaust was over in a matter of days for the most part. Many of these towns, the Nazis would come in, or their collaborators would come in, do a roundup, and then there would be some sort of mass killing, mass shooting in the nearby area. And so, because it happened so quickly, they don't show up on deportation lists, they don't show up on names lists, they're killed in the vicinity of their town. And it's really important to kind of try to get at that story however we can, and it's difficult because we don't have the backstory of, this was my family's material, this is my family's story, because for the most part families were killed in their entireties. So there are no survivors to come forward and tell this story. There are no survivors of this particular town or this particular area. Or if there are, it's only a handful of people. These rings are so poignant in a way. Many people wear rings, many people have rings, and in a way I think the anonymity of these rings, the fact that we don't know who they belong to, we don't know the story behind them, all we know is that they belong to someone who was killed in one of the mass graves in Busk. I think that makes these rings and the story behind them really important for us to tell.